Hello. Welcome back to Babbling Zoom. So, let's double check to make sure this is working. Yes, it is. Yes. Sadly, I'm not on Zoom because Zoom is acting funny. It's crashing every time I try to make a video. So, OBS now. Yay. So, welcome back to OBS Zoom. Babbling OBS. I don't know. Who knows? But last time, we broke down the whole concept of like who. Well, let me go back to this one picture. Not that picture. Where's that picture I put up? Did I seriously not save it? I probably didn't save it. Whoops. So let's switch over. Mickey Mouse film. This is what I did last time. I think this is what I did last time. Alright. So last time we talked about the social structure. Or the class structure that is the concept of the whole world of Mickey Mouse. Go figure. I put that video up. And the next day, there was a whole like 100-year anniversary of Mickey Mouse or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's funny. So, but we talked about the whole class structure of the House of Mouse, right? In a way. How Mickey essentially is like a lower class, or the mice are through Mickey, like the lens of Mickey, is a lower class citizen, the lower class. Donald is the middle class, and Goofy is the middle class. Donald is the upper class, right? Just on watching their video, just on a loose theory on their on the videos, on their films that they've created, where Mickey essentially kind of falls into a lot of the videos he makes as usually like the poor man. Donald is definitely a little more well off with most of his videos because he has things to play around with. Goofy is the everyday man, kind of doing his thing. The main thing I brought up with the Goofy movies or shorts is when in the 50s you start looking at a lot of his videos where it's just kind of like the how-to or the random everyday man aesthetic of Goofy and the world. You get to learn more about the world with the Goofy movies or the Goofy shorts. Not with Mickey or Donald. They're really more contained into their own world. So Goofy's main antagonist in his shorts are basically just the struggle of a regular day. Right? We are also introduced, surprisingly, in like 5 of these videos, to a young kid named Junior. Right? Now, I have a theory. It's a fun little theory. I don't know if I can find it again. No. I've been struggling to get this whole thing up, and there we go. Found it. We're going to come back to this in a second. All right. So, we're first introduced to the concept of Goofy having a son. Actually, in these old movies, there's like 5 videos. There's 5 shorts that feature this kid. Later, we're actually introduced to Max. Let me go to Max real quick. Yeah, later we're introduced to Max. And Max, amazingly, is a curious moment. A fun little moment in the world of Mickey Mouse and Friends. Because Max does something that majority of the Disney characters have never done before. Max grows up. In this whole world of Mickey Mouse, we've never really seen anyone really age. There might be that one little moment where they tried to age the triplets, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, but it never really went that far. And when we come back to them again, they're still kids. Max, on the other hand, is interesting. When we're first introduced to him, he's a kid. They live next to Pete. They live next to Pete, his best friend's PJ, the neighbor's next door neighbor. And in a sense, they're kind of just, kids, maybe like 12. I didn't actually look it up. Sorry. But they do the standard hijinks that every little kid does. The classic sitcom, I'm going to do something silly, and I get in trouble, and add the goofy spin, boom, done. Right? When he first comes out with his first movie, Max is in high school. He's now not in elementary school. He's now a high school kid, and you get to see him grow as a high school student. Now this is a high school movie where it's just about impressing the girl and trying to get with her, and again, more goofy hijinks, but it's really kind of the not coming of age, maybe coming of age situation where it's not even coming of age. It's more just like understanding generations. And this is a big thing because Goofy's entire reasoning behind this is the fact that his dad did this. He's going to do it with his son. This is a generational thing. We are going to do this. When we get to the second Goofy movie, Max is in college. He's grown again. We get to now see him in a college environment, acting like a college, just acting like a young adult, trying to separate himself from his dad. Again, kind of the same plot. But we actually see Max and PJ grow as a person. Max at this point has moved on from high school, for better or for worse. But we get to see PJ now grow as a person. Now, not really kind of I'm not saying lackey, but the quiet best friend, the shy best friend, the unconfident best friend. He grows confidence in trying to get with a girl. This is awesome. One other thing that pops up, I'm going to bring it up here, is later in one of the Christmas specials, we get to see him come home for the holidays, where he's older again. He's probably now getting out of college. We're probably having a situation where he's going to college his first year. Here he's probably like maybe year 3. Who knows? He is a constantly growing character. That is the most interesting thing about Max in this world, because no one else has done this. Right? Now, here's the great theory. Because Max is an ever-evolving character, I believe that the world of Max is outside of the shorts, with the exception of a few, of Mickey Mouse. Right? This is the real world. Max, whenever we see Max, it's the real world for these people. They are probably struggling actors who randomly get gigs. Weird theory, I know. that randomly get gigs and do stuff, right? The world is constantly growing. They're getting older. Max is the Max and PJ are the linchpin to that concept of aging in this world, right? If that's the case, if Max is the character we're going to use to understand the theory that of like how the history of this world, then we have to understand one other thing. Or let me get back to Goofy for a second. We're going to talk about this kid right here, right? Which now makes me go to here and this picture. This is from the Disney wiki, right? And something I'm about to totally destroy the theory on. Their theory on. They consider this kid, this one little kid right here, as Max. And I don't believe it. I don't think this is Max. If Max is the only person in the universe that could grow up, it's reasonable to say that Goofy is growing up as well. Goofy is growing. These 50s films about a Goofy going out with their kid, in a way, how do I put it? In a way, it kind of, when you understand the concept of Goofy, that Max is growing up, and then it changes how you see Goofy as well, right? So, if we look at the Goofy movie, he's all about carrying on a tradition of taking his kid out to the woods and enjoying himself. And one of the things that happens in a Father's Weekend, was it Father's Weekend or Father's Lion? That's it. Father's Lion is you see a Goofy taking out his son to the woods. And one of the main things we need to talk about is the name of the dad. In those 50s films, the character that we're constantly seeing going about their normal day is not Goofy. They call him Mr. G. They call him all this stuff. His name's George. George Geef. Probably later changed to George Goof. But Junior is constantly brought up. Junior this, Junior that, Junior the other. So, in a sense, when we go back to this character right here, now we're looking at, if we really take it all into account, now we're looking at the fact that this is George Geef, father of Junior, also known as Goofy. Goofy's a boomer. He grew up with his dad. His dad did all the classic stuff back in the 50s. And eventually, he grew up. He had a kid of his own. And we don't know which wife it was, this Junior, now going as Goofy, had a kid of his own named Max, because Max was not a junior. He took that time and did not say Junior. He never renamed his son Junior. So these are the 3 generations of Goof. Geef, if you want to say. Right? How a Geef turned into a Goof, and now we have a Max. Right? Now, the other thing we see about Max. Now, here's why I say this. In majority of these films, the majority of these shorts with George Geef, he's never interacting with Mickey. He never actually interacts with Mickey Mouse. He's just an everyday person. Right? So I would say this whole life, this whole short thing is the real world. Anytime Goofy interacts with his friends Mickey and Donald, what if they were just actors going about doing their jobs? It's a new gig. They do a film about who knows what, right? Then they go back to their regular lives. I know, theory, stretch, all the way. I think I missed on one thing. Oh. So, yeah, that's my theory. These are the 3 generations of Goofies. Right? The other thing I feel bad about, I didn't mention, so let me get rid of this, is that Max is one of those characters that has a life. As much as we all love Roxanne, oh my goodness, we all love Roxanne, when he went to college, he moved on. And it took a while, but he met Mona, and now he's with Mona. We don't know what the rest of his life is like anymore because we are not. I don't know if Disney's ever going to come back and explore more of Max, but we'll see. But like I said, let me leave it on this little nugget of the fact that we are now looking at 3 generations of Goof, and I don't know where else I'm going to go with this. So that said, thank you for joining me on my random rant of this whole thing. See you.